to see you, and it's always a pleasure meeting you.
Always good.
Yeah, that's great. So I was actually, I feel I'm fortunate enough to witness this chilling winters of North India, and I'm truly enjoying it here.
You are in Aligarh now?
Yeah, I'm in Aligarh.
When did you
You
go
see,
from Hyderabad without taking me?
okay, when I reach Hyderabad, we'll definitely meet, sir.
So you don't want me to come to Aligarh or what?
Oh, please, most welcome. Most welcome. Anytime.
How is Papa enjoying?
Yeah, it was good. Everyone is enjoying, and I was, I was so happy. It's always amazing when you have an intellectual discussion on the topics like leadership, because this is something that our country, the world, actually, wants it and wants to know what great leadership is all about. So I was really happy, and I was going through the things. On this leadership, there is one non-film leadership grid that I have given the session at IIM, and also it's in the Journal of London University. It's called Nottingham Leadership Grid. So I was reading it, and when I read Mahatma Gandhi and when I read Nelson Mandela, there are so amazing qualities that I witnessed. In that nominal leadership grade, there were 9. There was positional intelligences and there was timing. So when I say timing, it has nothing to do with the clock, but of course with the right words that we choose while interacting with your friends, your colleague, and that's the timing of words that is most important. And there is positional intelligence and self-locus of control, which is extremely important. And in this self-locus of control reminds me of Mahatma Gandhi, who always talked about self-discipline. It reminds me about Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 70, that says that when gallons of water from rivers get into ocean never overflows. It remains calm. And that's what is the leadership self-control all about, that how you create leadership. So all these things are extremely important. And even I feel that the happy index of the nation is very important. It is directly proportional to the GDP of the nation, because the happier are the people, the greater the output of the organization, and so is the a great GDP of any of the nation. So happy index of the people is most important, and a great leader is one who's aware that how happy the people of our nation are and what can be done. As Nelson Mandela, after 27 years in jail, when he came out, he had forgiven jail. So this was the quality of forgiveness that he has, presented, that this is what leadership is all about. And so Gandhi followed the same. So I feel that forgiveness and all these qualities of empathy and compassion lead to great leadership. And that's what I observed and read about all the great leaders. So to have a great leader, to be a great leader, because it's not rocket science to be a great leader, but you just need to inculcate few amazing things that you can have it in you. And number one is your caring attitude towards your empathy, your compassion, and your locus self-control. That is how you are not disturbed by what the good things around. If somebody is giving you bribe, you're not disturbed with it, and you don't take it with your self-control, and you say no to it, because you are more focused on how my organization can lead with with great justice, with great kindness. Because I feel the leader is not good or bad. The leadership is about justice, kindness, and passion. If you have the eyes of justice, you're a great leader. And if you're aware that the people of your nation are happy, then you're a great leader. Even you are not just nation, but also the organization and the world. And if you're aware that you're responsible enough to understand and find out solutions to contribute to this world, then you're a great leader. Because the social responsibility makes an amazing leader, where you have great responsibility on your shoulders, and you understand that, you realize it's not just about your family and it's for the whole nation and for the whole world and your existence. You need to just do justice to your existence by understanding the responsibility that you should give, how you can contribute to help others as you are doing such an amazing work. And not just others, but also the nation, the organizations, and the world. So all these things are very important. That makes a great leader, and passion follows it up once you are determined with your vision.
Good. Anything more?
Yes, sir. Well, that's what I have read, and I feel that's what leadership is all about. Because once you are into this responsibility, people say that leaders, I say leaders can be created at every heart and mind if you inculcate those values that are required for you to be a leader. So even a 10-year-old can do this.
How do you define? For those people who joined, this is Tazeen Jamal Siddiqui, who is a Telangana the lead for NASA's Space Challenge. She is the managing director for Mansha Educational Society. We had a discussion earlier on the same channel, YouTube, on October 25th. That was on education. So the other day, Mansha asked, shall we have a discussion on leadership? I'm so glad. A topic which was close to my heart. You spoke about leadership. I have only one question. How do you define leadership?
So for me, I feel that leadership is all about not just leading from front, but it's about how many people under you have grown to lead the nation, have grown to lead in their expertise area.
So tell me.
My father always says that I have been a great principal because 20 teachers under me had become great principals of different amazing schools. So I feel leadership is all about how you grow people with you.
So tell me, who is a great international leader, maybe a time-tested leader as far as you are concerned? You mentioned two names, Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela. They are more of political leader.
Yeah.
Correct. There was a situation which was prevailing where they got a chance to merge themselves as leaders and people accepted them. Probably there was not a greater leader than them.
True. Yeah, so the reason was...
So there is some quality in them which created themselves as great leaders.
True. And also not just the qualities, but they also had this responsibility that if something is going wrong,
then you are contradicting. Then you are contradicting. You said the leader is one who creates a lot of other people as leaders. If you look at Mahatma Gandhi, he did not create many leaders. We look at Vivekananda Swamigal, he did not create great leaders. Nelson Mandela's own family, he was not in no coherence with them. There were conflicts. So creating other leaders is a different quality. That is a teacher's quality.
Yeah.
Leadership is something who has a great vision,
yeah,
which is different from other people around him. Abdul Kalam had that vision. I am not denying Abdul Kalam is not a leader, but the reason which is added by you is different. He had a great vision and he got a power and position to push it. That power and position is given by opportunity, not by your inborn ability. The attitude, the skill which is yours. Now, Tazeen is you are called a Tazeen or Siddiqui? Tazeen. Yeah, Tazeen has know how to market yourself. You will become a leader of education in India. If you don't know how to market, though you have quality, you don't have followers, nobody will know you. So, it is be with the people and lead the people. Being with the people will make you more close to them. But who are those people who will keep you in heart? Assume you get into the heart of a very powerful person. He will push you up. Vivekananda got into the heart of Ramakrishna, therefore he became great. Your father's school, the teachers got into the heart of your father, therefore your father pushed them up. Assume that those people, there was a good teacher, say, and he was very close to one of the attender, maybe one poor student. He will not get pushed up. He must have done a great job for that small student who is literally suffering, but never approached the principal to get a remark on him. I am sure he will not be recommended to become principals. You understood? So, I know people, the history is not just on those people under whom the history is written. There are a lot of people where they are not ignored by the history. But you cannot call them, they don't have the leadership quality.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah, therefore, if I have to take a quote from India, Rama was a great king. He had great ethics. If you have to ethics, dharma. Sanskrit is dharma, ethics, nidhi. Rama was a great king. That could be a story, that could be a person who lived and somebody glorified and written a story. It's 8 lakhs years story. 8 lakhs. So we are still remembering he and his people around. What was his leadership power? He conquered Lanka, Sri Lanka, by killing Ravana. But he did not become the king of that. He gifted to Ravana's brother. So he did not took charge of somebody's country. What Mughals did, they came to India, conquered it, and stolen many things from. And do you call the Mughal kings as leaders just because they had power? So they are leaders. The conflict is the leadership and ethics. Your title was very good. It is not leader. The leadership and ethics. So if you compare, Rama had ethics. Therefore he did not keep the land by himself.
Yeah.
Krishna killed his own uncle.
Yeah.
But then he did not become the king of that land. You understood?
And yeah.
Mahatma Gandhi became great because Mahatma Gandhi was a great leader. But he was not conqueror of power. He never wanted to become any political position. He never wanted to get into the ruling. Vivekananda was a great spiritual leader because he never started his own religion, unlike many other people. He did not become the chief of something. He served. He always was service. Got it?
Actually, yes, sir. And I want to just add.
Buddha was a great leader because he had power and position. He left it.
Yeah.
And he went for service.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also want to add on this that leadership is a philosophy. It's a thought. It's an approach. It's nothing in physical terms, but it's a thought. Once it comes out, people are inspired. Like, sir, you take a session, and some of your talks are so inspiring that you do not realize, but you do create leaders. Because that thought process is inculcated in those 10 hearts, in those 10 minds who are hearing you. So the thought leadership has nothing terms. It is a philosophy, it's an approach, it's a thought process that you inculcate in those 10 hearts or even one heart and mind that actually hears you and get inspired from you.
That is beautiful thought. But when we take example, the history is not written on somebody whose words were inspired by somebody, motivated somebody, and it was never come out into the writings. That is where
Gandhiji was not alone. No, there were so many people. When there was jail Bharo Andolan, there were so many people in the jail, and I believe they were all leaders because they were all inspired by that particular thought and particular thing that was heard by Gandhiji.
That's a
all
beautiful.
Those thousands of people in the jail were the leaders.
Yeah, that's a beautiful point. That's why I said leaders are not those who become famous because of power position. It's all from your action. Somebody gets, you are with them, you are in their heart.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so how many people you are able to inspire? When I say Vivekananda did not make leaders, I am one person who got inspired by Vivekananda. I am spreading his message.
Yes.
Many people spread Mahatma Gandhi's messages. That's why we are still talking about them. And the happiness is a different index. Don't get into the UN standard or maybe some magazine standard of creating happiness. You know which country is the most happiest happiness index best in the world today?
No.
Finland.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you say, many people say meditation, yoga, spirituality, faith in God, that makes people happy. Then India would have been the best in the world. But India is much worse than Pakistan. You understood? So, the happiness is not created through leadership. Happiness is a way of life which we don't call the head of the Finland as the best leader in the world just because people are happy. See, you can be happy in spirituality, you can also be happy with the spirit. Everybody boozes every day evening, they are rich, they are happy. Probably Indian people are happy because we have lot of festivals. On that day people are happy, but next day whatever money they have spent by taking loan from different people, that makes them to suffer for longer time.
Oh, that's what I'm seeing. See, that is an individual approach. And now, when I know that my organization head is aware that and leadership is about how you take on the filters in the decision making. Okay, the first filter that comes is that the decision that I'm going to make, how will it affect the person? Then comes the second filter, that what would be the output of the organization if I take this decision. So there are different filters that a leader goes through and take out the solution with it. Now, when this quality, like I tell you, like when a person is a principal or say teacher, the child understands and learn everything from the teacher. Be it the decision making, that what all are the factors that my teacher considered when she took this decision. If she asked me to get out of the class, what are the factors that made her believe that? Right? Now when he will grow up and when he will see, you must have heard many of the some scientists or some teachers who say that that day, well, because my teacher scolded me for this and I corrected that, that's the reason I have become great, because I worked on that particular thing. Right? So the point is that when a child is hearing that I was taught doing that, why the decision was because it helped me in improving, be it negative or be it a positive decision. So there are different filters that come out in which an individual takes a decision, and when the other person look into it and understand it and try to learn, like sir, if you take some decision and I am following you, then I'll see, oh sir took this decision considering these points. Okay, great. Now when I come into that situation, I will think about you. I will think about your decision, and I will see that this gentleman was amazing. He took the great decision and the output was amazing. I'm going to do the same because the factors are the same, situation are the same.
But
So I'm learning from you.
Tasin, in the psychology, there is a big conflicting views on this. Somebody says a making up of a person, is it from the biological, is it from the birth, is it from the gene, or is it learned from the society, or is it because of an individualistic changing approach which he accepts? Suppose it is no, it says 50 percentage is by birth, 40 percentage is by the society, 10 percentage is by your skill, your aptitude. But then this 10 percentage depends more on this 50 and 40 percentage. I am staying in Bombay. My biological style of living, which I have seen from childhood, my parents had, I will also become a person who runs fast, catches train, all that. But assume I had been in such a place like Ooty or maybe Dehradun, life travel, maybe I am in Himalayas. Your life goes very slow. You don't have to run to catch a fast train. You are used for walking slowly, right? You don't see, therefore the system in which you are, your DNA pattern, your biological thing is entirely controlling you. Now assume that a person from such a situation comes and stays with Tasin all the time, and you are so pushy. Definitely around you there cannot be an idle person. You will push them all along, right? Because you have that energy. So he will look at you. So there are two possibilities. He becomes so depressed that no, he cannot follow you. He will leave the place. So looking at you, taking you as a sample will become only when there is the 10% iota of interest, quest, which gets into him by some chance. You understood? Not everybody will get into that. The perceiver perceives the way the perceiver want to perceive, and not the speaker or the doer want the perceiver to perceive. I have my own interpretation. There are two things, like either you get accept and adjust. Otherwise, I can get hatred, anger, jealousy, all that is possible. And so he said, no, this fellow is not at all in tune with me, so I cannot stay with him. So understanding the differences can be for learning. Understand the differences can be for enmity. So whether the difference is understood and then I adjust, what is good and what is bad, who knows? It's only situations will change. Somebody feels that that situation I may not understand that level because my background did not tell me that. See, now I am saying my table has to be very clean. I am getting a servant maid to clean it. The servant maid in her house, the table is not at all clean. So her concept of cleanliness is entirely different from my concept of cleanliness. And somebody else who comes with a much cleaner environment will think even which I consider as the cleanest may not be clean for him. So your background, your situation predefines the quality, predefines what is required, predefines what is the situation. Therefore, either we get adjusted, or we try to learn, or we try to ignore, or we start hating. There are four possibilities. These possibilities are from what you have internally.
Yeah, but sir, I believe that once you are interacting with people and once you are trying to interact with them with a trust, with love and kindness, they will understand you well.
Not
for
all.
example, if there is argument between two parties, okay, now if I have to take a decision, if I see that situation as a third person, okay, and I understand the points of both the parties, okay, I don't consider myself as someone who's been who's been argued or who's been insulted, and not all that. When I see the situation as a third person in the same situation, I try to understand the points of both the parties, I would come up with a better solution. I would come up with a better understanding to that solution. Argument is healthy when we consider it by that it's not to hurt anyone or it's not to degrade anyone, but it is to upgrade the points that the people discuss on. It is up to inculcate the knowledge, the added knowledge to that particular topic that is being discussed or argued. So when we try to see the argument as a third person, we become calm, because then we are not the victim. Neither we are the one who are hurting the other person. We are the third person, and we try to analyze the situation with the factors, considering it. And I'll tell you, it really helps a lot, because it not just calm the situation, but it also leads to a great and healthy discussion over it. So when there is an argument or there's a fight, once a person tries to analyze it as a third person, you would observe that the fight would end and it will turn up into a more healthy and a happier discussion.
That is what I said. Adjust and accept, and then reflect on that for your realization.
Yeah.
But most of the people may not get it because their background, they have been brought up in such a situation where they have already conditioned seeing people who win only when they fight each other, but not compassionate. Assume such a person comes to you, even if you start giving advices, probably it doesn't affect them. I remember in Hyderabad, in a small basti, I went with a few of my volunteers. And we were teaching them subjects. I was feeding in the morning breakfast vacuum, but we have done it in different places. I was doing in a small, but then I was not interacting because my Telugu was not very good at them those days. So my students were doing it. But then casually I called a small boy there and asked, why these sisters, brothers are coming and teaching you? You know, immediate response, somebody is paying them. Because they don't understand the word service. Because they don't do anything to anyone free of cost. Whenever you do some job, ask for money. That is how they have been. So they don't understand the word service itself is not in their dictionary. So even if you serve them with that sort of a mind, they won't understand. You cannot turn them into people who are into service that easily. I am not saying not possible. There may be. That is what I am saying, that 10%, 50, 40, 10. Remember this. That is a lot of study has been done to understand how people, even if you, that is why the investment, where are you doing that investment? That is why even if I have 40 children under me, we are not able to make, even if I am the best leader, I am the best professor, I am the best teacher, I will not be able to uplift everyone. So what are we doing? I keep saying in the KG section, we start giving classes. My expectation, out of 100 students in the KG, 75 only will come up to 8th class. That is how the standard, the 25% drops out. When it comes to 10th class, only 50% will go. But when I invest my time for the 100 children in the KG, I don't know who are these 50. So when we have a discussion now, probably many people will listen to this. How many people will understand the essence of this discussion? How many people have the patience to look at, I told. They will only look at, what word we used against somebody. There may be some people, they will only look at what mistake he has done. Is there any grammatical mistake? They don't see the essence. They will only look at what mistakes. These are all inborn quality of some people.
Every person is different and they have a different approach to it.
Therefore, it takes longer time, have a lot of patience to listen completely, understand the essence, create a internal change, a distortion, a reflection, a thought process. So those people who have done these changes are not because they are intellectually great. They had, the ethics is not intellectual. Ethics is fully heart,
It is not
manas,
intellectual.
manas. It comes from the heart. It comes from the
Yes,
manas.
it does.
It comes from the feeling.
Yes, it does.
I,
Yes, it does.
I remember last year when I was in US, I gave a lecture on compassion in one of the churches. I was quoting Vivekananda and then talking. The whole session was on compassion. See, the compassion which America has is entirely different from the compassion which India has.
Yeah, because the culture is different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Therefore, the progress what we think as progress is materialistic in some place.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, progress is a spiritual progress.
So not just places, even individual to individual. it
Individual
varies.
to individual it varies. Correct. So what is progress? We say the progress is I have to be sufficient rich. What is sufficient rich? I decide where I will have my cup of tea. Whether I will have in ITC Kakatiya or I will have in the roadside. Got it? How much pleasure I derive out of it. So, Bharatiya Shastram, the India, always believe your happiness derives from what others get from you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It is not what I derive happiness. That is why the well-being in India, the happiness index in India is much worse than the happiness index in some other country. Here, when we have pain, we suffer. Suffering is not a big problem for us. But in America, as soon as you get a pain, they will prescribe you some medicine which will reduce your pain. Therefore, they don't know the intensity of pain. Here, we know the suffering. Suffering is considered as one of the greatest blessing for us. Their suffering is entirely different style. We have sufficient food to eat, but we may not eat. That is a ritual here. But in Western country, they can't even believe why people don't eat when they have sufficient food to eat. So our custom, our system, our training is to make us to understand the value of others' suffering, which how we will take it as ours and then be part of it. That's why when I said the leadership is being part of them,
Yeah,
but
of course.
you have a different vision. If that can be considered as ethics, probably the world progress will not happen because we consider progress is something materialistic. If somebody,
That's what.
yeah,
Yeah, true, very true. For this transformation, as you said that you asked your maid to clean the table, that example, I want to share this little example that I have witnessed in my childhood days. My mother started a school in the garage for the garbage pickers, and she used to give them good clothes. She used to make them, wash their hands, wash their face, and be clean and tidy. For just 3 days she did, and from fourth day, they all came so clean and tidy, with clean dress. And I was so happy that there were 30 children there who were getting taught by my mother. And we were so excited when we used to come from school to teach those children. And many of them got into great schools. So this is what I feel, that the transformation of heart and mind is something
again,
that begins at the
again, some of the words which you are using, they got into grade two schools. So, what is grade two schools here? Grade two schools is which has got a bigger infrastructure, nice discipline, well, maintained dress. See, that is again materialistic, looking at something which is looking good. That looking good need not be good. That is where we always look at. See, for example, you gave an example of somebody who had a change. I remember I went to one of the interior forest area in Kerala, where some association is giving lot of social service activities. And I went to that small forest inside. We have to walk a lot. When they called me for a program, they talked about the social service activity which they did in a forest. I said I wanted to see that personally. Next weekend we will go there. So actually I pulled them, which they themselves did not go after the social service is done. But then I wanted to see that, the effect of that, And that was too interior. In Palakkad district, it's a forest inside. And they are all scheduled tribes.
Okay.
These people constructed a concrete house. When we went there, no door, no window, nothing there. You know what they did? These people pulled out everything and then started using as a firewood. And I asked one of the girl there who was totally naked because they are in the forest, who was a teenage girl. I asked why this house is given to you. They said when elephant comes we can climb on top and then save ourselves. Because for them house is not a requirement. Even if you provide a house, they don't understand the value of it. Second, there was a water pipe connection given from a drinking water supply program. The pipe was on and the water was going. Then I said, you have to close this after usage, otherwise water go waste. You know, that small boy called me and said, see the river there. Lot of water is wasting every moment. How can you stop it? He asked me. So what a logic is that? Because what is essential if you understand education, if you are not giving, if you don't equip them to understand, even if you take the messages from Buddha or maybe Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't get into them because for them, they are not into that level. So the progress, that is what the greatness will come. Hyderabad, in the garage, when you run a school, it goes very fast because they are with the people around you. They are always looking at you. Oh, this man is going to a bigger school, better school, well whitewashed. Whether we don't know the teachers and teaching whether it is correct or good or not. So they have already an ambition inside. That is created from the knowledge. They are informed. So first get informed, then get formed yourself. First information should come, the awareness. So what happens when we get to know about the development which happens in the world? We are only aware of the external paraphernalia. We don't know the happiness inside. We don't know Westerners are happier than India because they are taking every day the dose of medicine which makes them happy. We don't know whether somebody in Finland is happy because they drink every day and then dance every day.
No, sir. These are just the normal factor. I think justice is one most important thing that makes the people happy. The justice, the way they have the employment.
Therefore, when you want employment, see, for example, you take the scheduled tribe and give him a job. He is misplaced from his place. He is much happier there. The happiness from a village, when somebody looks at the city, he thinks city is so beautiful, so great. But the city people go to the small village for enjoy. They find that village is much more happier. Correct? So, information, tasting, it's like a buffet. When you see one counter, you think that the other counter is much more tastier. So you keep running from one place to another place. So first thing, everybody should have a chance of learning what is all around. And understanding how and what is happening inside. Then have your own choice of life. But then Indian situation, we don't have this choice because most of us are, I am not talking about Tasin. Tasin has got a good freedom from your papa because he has seen the world. If you look at 80 to 90% of Indian population at the youth don't have the freedom to choose what they want. They are all being controlled by, assume some student comes and tells me that, sir, I am not happy, I don't want this course, but I am forced. Immediately I will ask whether your parents are teachers or not. Because, see, they control too much. So you don't have the freedom to choose. Suppose you don't have the freedom to choose what you want, how do you get to the leadership? because you are not able to expose yourself. Assume during the youth time you are not able to get that freedom. You cannot get in the 40s. So upbringing makes lot of difference in the people. If you don't get the freedom when you are having full energy, transforming yourself emotionally, intellectually, physically, socially happens, probably spiritually happens much later. These development happens during the time probably from maybe 6th or 7th grade to maybe 20 years, maybe 12 to 20 say. That 8 to 9 years, if you don't have this freedom, we will not develop good leaders.
Yeah,
The
yes.
leadership development happens in the youth time.
Right.
You can see
That is
most of the leaders jumped into them, or your at least thought process got evolved during that time. But
True.
we have our present education system is where we are all pushed inside rooms, don't have time to think anything other than that, and we think development and progress is what is learning very specifically what is told by like medical science and become a doctor, engineer and become an engineer, and that is the grooming which happens in the classrooms. That is why I think we have less happiness, that is why we have less progress, that is why our education system is not able to produce good leaders in India, very specifically.
Yes, sir. When people say na ki, we should eradicate air pollution, water pollution, I always tell them that let's first eradicate mind pollution. Once mind is clean and tidy, all the pollution will definitely come to an end.
That is why in Bhagavad Gita he says, Uddhared Atmanatmanam. Lift up your emotions, intellect, and Atma to higher level. Uddhared. Atmanam avasadhayed. Atmaiva hyatmano bandhu. Your enemy is you yourself.
Correct.
And your friend is your own manas and the buddhi and the Atma. So you are able to concretize, this is what I want, and you are able to get into that field. It needs a lot of courage. Not everybody can do that. Leaders require a lot of courage.
Lot of courage.
They need a lot of planning. We keep saying Udyamam, planning, Sahasam, courage, jump into action, Dhairyam, Buddhi, Shakti. If and there will be lot of people pulling us back. Don't do this. It's not your cup of tea. Why are you jumping into this? That can be parents, relatives, friends. Because our social system is so much bounded around us, we cannot jump into action as we want.
Correct. Yeah.
If we can trammel up those consequences, push that and then say that I want to do what I want to do. Parakramam. That ability is called parakramam in Sanskrit. Udyamam, Sahasam, Dhairyam, Buddhi, Shakti, Parakramam, Shadhede, Yatra Vartande. Where the 6 qualities are there, Devam Tatra Prakashyet. Bhagavan, God will come and support you. I keep saying Shankara left his house. Buddha left his kingdom. Vivekananda Swami left everything. How many children at that age during in our home we have that ability to say you do what you want? Not many. That is where we are. That is the leadership. I have a vision, but I wanted to implement it. How well I am able to do it? Who will support me in this? Right? That the social bondage, the social structure which we have, the fabric of society is very good in India. We say one of the disadvantage is this. And in Western country, they don't have, because they already have everything as they want. So they don't aspire to become something great because they are already in the lavish life.
Yeah.
And they rarely some people understand what the world require, because they have everything. They think the whole world is having everything.
Yeah, the approaches towards life
is
what
different.
they want to become is different.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So it's a
I
beautiful
think it was
topic.
So wonderful.
It's a beautiful topic. I'm so glad that within seconds you said this is what we wanted to discuss. I said I'm so happy. Maybe Yeah,
Always pleasure hearing you, sir.
it needs lot of debate to get ourselves concretized, unless we think, because we cannot get this from reading.
No, this all comes from experiences, sir.
Sharing.
I tell you, I think last time I told you about when I was heading an underprivileged school and we didn't have much of the workforce, and there were so many, the whole ground was full of leaves. So I just took out the solution to ask children to take those leaves and make something creative. So it was a decision which made everything clean also, and kids came out with creative stuff. So I think these little things that you don't get in books, you learn it with your own decisions. You learn it with your experiences. Like when I saw those children who used to come dirty, after 1 week when they started coming nicely, because I saw my mother explaining them that what happens when you are dirty. You know, how it should be clean.
See, Tasin, the word dirty, I remember. I went to Graz, Austria, maybe 20-25 years back. When we have to drink water, there was only a cup, but no jug of water. Then I asked, where do I collect water? He said, collect it from the washroom. I said, drinking water? Yes, you drink that water. We all drink the same water, they said. Then I said, is it not dirty?
Unhygienic.
Unhygienic, that we use the word dirty, unhygienic.
Yeah.
Immediately, I went and the program was hosted by one of the chief of one of the biggest company, scanner company, Vexel Scanner in the Austria. So the managing director only dropped me in the hotel. He said, don't use the word dirty. Nothing is dirty in this country. It may be muddy.
Muddy, oh nice. Okay.
Mud is not dirt.
Okay.
See them. Most of the time, I work for farmers sometimes. So I keep saying, you must look at the place where the farmers eat.
Yeah, it's full of muddy.
They work that much to get the beautiful lunch on your table in a 5-star hotel. Don't call them dirty.
No, definitely not.
They must be in the mud. So, India, there are a lot of places which are dirty. We must convert them into muddy.
Yeah.
Understood?
Little tough, but yes.
Yeah, but this is a great concept.
Yeah,
See,
it's a great concept, yes.
each word by word, when we analyze and look at it and learn from their experiences, look at them in our perspective, we understand a lot of different things. How much we can put into our everyday life.
Yes, a transformation starts from
How much we can push into our family. How much we can push into our society slowly.
Society, yeah.
You understood?
No, that's very true. Transformation starts with the thought.
Yeah.
With the thought to change yourself, your thought process, your heart and soul. And that's what leads to great stuff. Well, it was so amazing.
I think we should also listen from somebody else. We have Kalyani from Bhubaneswar, Rija Samir,
Okay.
Advocate Rija Samir from Calicut,
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure.
Hanna
And thank you very
Shaju,
much for being here.
Arati is there from Chennai, Bangalore. Where are you? Chennai?
Chennai, sir.
Yeah. We have Asha from Kottayam,
Okay.
Bhima. Eh? Yeah, tell me, Bhima, what do you say? Rija.
Me?
Yeah,
I want
anybody?
to share something, sir. I want to share something. I just want to say, one of my relatives, when they came from Dubai, the mother of 2 kids was saying her eldest son is now we are giving him not notebooks, we are giving him in a plastic patrathil. We are
English.
giving him
English.
clay and mud. So that this boy, because he is in the flat, he is not playing with mud and clay, and he couldn't write properly, it seems. So they were giving him the mud and clay in the pot just to make him his fingers have flexibility for getting the flexibility.
Yes.
So this our kids are getting free when they are playing in the mud. But still nowadays parents even don't allow kids. They say worms will come, that will come. But I think the old system that children used to play in the mud. That's a big
important.
We
Yeah.
are not understanding the effects that it's giving us. Unknowingly, it is passed on. But now, children in Middle East and in Kerala also now, mostly children are not playing in the mud. That's not giving strength to their fingers, hands for them to write.
Right. Mud is very important.
Yeah.
There is a great learning which says all the great people need not play with mud. They were all using their hands for some work. See, if you know, I used to tell young children, you give me 300 kg children, I can make them to keep quiet for 6 hours. They will not distract, they will be fully focused, they don't feel hungry. You can take care of children very well. What I do is I give a needle and a thread and ask them to pass through that. That's it. So, if that ability is there, it means they have a good brain. The brain development is measured by asking them to pass a thread through a needle. So that means your observation is good, you are able to concentrate, you are able to control your fingers, and hand and eyes are coordinated, right? So this is very, very essential. So working with the hands is more important, not necessarily with the mud. Some activity you must keep on doing. Yesterday I was talking to one of my teacher who used to be my teacher during I spoke to many teachers yesterday. December 20, when 2016 I had a small camp in that Gnanam. You remember Anandan Master used to come. So Anandan Master comes with a lot of gadgets to show children all the science experiments. So he is now 72, 74. Still he is at home for last 1 year. So I am sure every day he will be doing carving. His passion is to take a wood and then carve different statues on it. So he is very busy. That ability to carve require a lot of concentration, right? At 74 you are able to do it. That is because from childhood you started doing it. Probably if you don't do from childhood, we will not be able to do it now. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Arati, anything to add?
No, sir, the session was interesting.
Thank you, my dear.
Yeah.
And keep smiling like this.
Yeah, sure. I remember one wordings from Dr. TP's book, that is good mind, good thoughts, bad mind, bad thoughts. So if we have a good mind, definitely we will have good thoughts.
Yeah, because the manas is what starts the thoughts. The brain takes it up logically and action follows it.
Right. Then thank you very much, everyone. Take very good care. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you for the wonderful
Enjoy.
session.
Lots of love and blessings, everyone. Thank you very much. And keep smiling. Bye-bye.
What, Bhima? You don't have anything to say?
No, sir. I will always take up the point that every session you said that Udyamam, Sahasam, Dhairyam, Buddhi, Shakti, Parakram. These things which help us to look back and action.
Many people keep thinking, I will do, and they will never do.
We also have that the problem.
Yeah, that should go.
So always,
You must be active.
I always plan to do that or to do this.
That is because basically you are lazy. You are lazy not because of you. You are lazy because of your family around you. Basically lazy because of the society around you. Because people keep saying but they don't do. So that is your structure. You understood? So you must jump out of that. It needs a lot of courage.
So I will
Yeah, because most of the people we think that when we are little rich, we need a driver. We are little rich, we need a paper boy who will supply paper. With little rich, we need somebody who will serve you milk. You cannot go and buy. In the house, there may be 10 people sitting idle from morning onwards waiting for milk, but you will not go and fetch it. Got it? We have lot of ability to do, but we don't do. In such a structure, when somebody grows, you will not be able to do it. That is why in my childhood and all, we never had a servant maid at home, though we were very rich. So I started working in my house. I had to cook, I had to pluck, I have to cultivate my own vegetable. So we are all forced to work. That point of time we thought it is something which is harsh on us. But later we realized this is how we have to live. But assume somebody else who lives in a society, in a place where they are all supported by servants, they don't understand why this fellow is doing like this will be the question which they ask. In Western country, no houses there are servants, but they are mechanized. Therefore, you don't have to work. Even if your garden is to be cleaned, you have a machine, the next neighbor also will have. You will not even take it from somebody else because you live for you. It may be very costly, but you will not even share to anybody else. Even you have something, your son will be having a house next door, we will not give it to him. That sort of life they lead. Got it? So they are mechanized, but we are somewhere in the middle. So do everything as much as you can and see that your energy can never be preserved. The more you work, probably you will become more stronger. Make it a habit. That is what is to be done.
Thank you, Doctor.
There can be a lot of mistakes. Even when we speak, there can be mistakes. But don't worry. Use your ability so that it will get improvised. That's what is to be done. Glad you spoke. Now you see in the beginning you were never speaking. Now at least you are talking at least, right? Great change.
Thank you, Dr. Dipyan, for this wonderful session.
Anybody else? Gayatri?
Yes, sir.
You need a special invitation or what?
No, sir.
Okay then. Rija?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.